Finished Brighton 1, Arsenal 1 with a controversial penalty. Spurs 1, Newcastle 2 with a controversial handball. And both North London sides were not happy with the officials. Following Tottenham's 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle, Ange Postecoglou had some very choice words regarding the officials.
If all things were well balanced and equal, and we would have won that game today. You can check, you can talk about whatever you want. You don't want to have an opinion, you want my opinion. My opinion is that if all things were even and balanced today, we would have won. I know what everyone wants me to say. All I'll say is that on any other day, on a fair and even playing ground, we would have won that game. Simple as that. And don't keep asking me about the decision. If you guys have no opinion about it, that's fine. I know what my opinion is. As I said, if that was a different day and it was an even and fair playing ground, we would have won that game.
Right. Head's gone on that one for Ange, or do you think you'd be in the same position as him? Bearing in mind, just to give a bit of context to the head's gone, yeah? He has about 5 or 6 mainstays missing from his team right now.
Yeah,
including
frustration is there.
His goalkeeper, his 2 central defenders, his left back now as well. Yeah. They're all out. His £60 million Brazilian striker is never fit. There's a lot going on, a lot of pressure around his job at the moment. And in fairness, Austin came in as the goalkeeper. Even his second choice keeper's out, right? The third choice keeper, who's never played for Spurs,
done okay, didn't he?
Man of the match.
Was he?
He was man of the match.
Oh, well, that's brilliant for him.
Did really well. You know, you had Reguilon, who's not been playing for Spurs. He's been on loan, like, to Man United and Brighton, and I think maybe. But he's been on loan all over the shop. And they were unlucky. I don't think Newcastle battered Spurs. I thought we were going to get battered, and it was very almost like similar to the Man United performance tonight, and they got the draw. Spurs were worthy of a draw yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, I didn't see the game live and didn't see it in its entirety, but from the highlights, you know, there was a lot of frustration. You could see that in terms of how Spurs hadn't got anything out of the game, and yet maybe it warranted something. I mean, all I would say is that I've been in his position where there's lots of things you feel unjust, you feel like the world's against you a little bit. You know, the injuries, the medical department probably not think he's not particularly happy with them. He's certainly not happy with the way the game's panned out. Certainly not happy with the referee, and he got those words stuck in his mind without trying to find himself in a rule book where he was going to get a big fine, that he could use these words as if to say, you know, if it was all fair and true and balanced, we might have got something out of the game. So but he just went too far with it. And that sometimes it gets you like that in the Premier League. The scrutiny, the pressure. Sometimes it's very, very difficult to put your finger on it. But whatever people say to you, it goes out your head. You've got it in your mind, and you're going to say that, and you get repetitive.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, when I said Brighton, I meant Brentford, where Reguilon's been on loan. I just remembered it was Brentford with the other club.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I can see the frustration coming out, because at the end of the day, he's walked away. It's another defeat. It's a defeat at home. They're now 12th because Brentford got a great result yesterday against Southampton. The pressure. His next game is in the Cup against Liverpool. Yeah, and then it's the North London derby. It's not looking good for
Arteta was equally as frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, and his press after didn't really cover himself in any glory either. So, you know, it was a little bit, you know, it's that time of year as well. There's so many games, frustration, and, you know, and then the next one's going to come along real quick. I just think with Ange, you know, I do think he needs to take a deep breath and just take a step back a little bit.
That's who I am.
Yeah, no, I think he's getting wrapped up in it all a little bit. And it's understandable, and it's easy to say from where I'm sitting. When you're in that position, it's difficult to do that.
But my criticism of him is even the way that he's reacted there. He's just setting himself up for a fall. Because he started life in the Premier League as a bit of an underdog that everyone kind of liked, because, you know, even like the jovial things of like when he has having a microphone put on him on TV, oh, take me out for a drink first, mate, you know, like it was all fun, it was all like, and now the heat is on, you know, he's flaring up at, you know, our colleagues there, as we heard from some of the audio, and listen, we don't understand. You understand the pressure that he's under. Can we as ordinary folk understand the kind of pressures he's under? What would you liken it to in layman's terms?
It's very difficult to put it into perspective because I've never done I've been chief executive of Coca-Cola, for example, so I don't know that kind of pressure. What I do understand is a managerial pressure, and it's the media and it's the way you're spoken to. Sometimes you feel disrespected. Sometimes you feel like it's personal insults, and they might not actually mean that. But it kind of in your mind, it's like reading a text message on your phone. You've read it wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that happened a little bit with him yesterday. He seemed to take it out on all the press. And I think a lot of the press are still with him, actually.
But, you know, even things like the fact that we have a button here that goes, it's who we are, mate. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of almost in a situation where he's become a bit of a parody of himself.
Yeah.
And that's not a good place to be. Because I think, you know, I have absolute respect for him as a manager and what he's done. And I feel like his achievements, because they've been in Japan and Australia and in Scotland, they are diminished a lot by a lot of people. And in his mind, he truly believes that he's a winner. And his philosophy is a winning mentality.
This, you know, I'll win a trophy in the second year. I don't want to use it as to bait him, but he's, you know, you've got a semi-final this week.
Yeah.
So, you know, that opportunity is there. And you wouldn't put it past that Spurs first team if he could get it out for the final. I mean, obviously he's got to navigate the two semi-finals, but he might be up against a weakened Liverpool side. That might be a blessing. But if he gets to the final and gets everybody back, who's to say you won't win it?
Yeah, well, he's beat City on the way. He's beat Man United on the way. So, you know, if we go and beat Liverpool,
the signs are good.
It would be. Sorry, Madge, I like you. However, I cannot see what Bruno can do there. Cannot unscrew his arm. Referee was man of the match for Spurs, up the Toon Army.
There you go. That's a Toon fan for you.
I know exactly what you're saying. He can't unscrew his arm, but he's directly benefited from the ball slapping him on the hand. Yeah,
when I see that, well, obviously I didn't see it in real time. When I see it, I thought handball immediately when it happened, before I even knew it led to a goal. It was a great finish, by the way. But Newcastle on a little bit of a roll at the moment. And, of course, sometimes those breaks go for you as well. That year we finished fifth with the team that I had, a great team. But we had a few breaks. It comes your way. And you earn that luck. And unfortunately for Spurs, you was on the wrong end of it.
Absolutely. 0371722 3344. Do you think Ange is right in his comments? Do you think his frustration is really coming out, and do you think that is unhelpful for his cause as Spurs manager? As I mentioned already, the fact is we've got Liverpool on Wednesday, and for example, if that's a 4-0 victory to Liverpool, for example, and we've got to go to Anfield, you know.
Well, I don't see that. I actually think you'll win. I do. I think Liverpool will put on an understrength team. Spurs will be up for it, frustrated from the weekend, and I can see Spurs nicking that. Yeah. The first leg, by the way. Don't know about the second leg.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.